How busy is a Singapore airport?
Very busy. Very, you know, they've got the world's best airport, the jewels. So they don't just have people traveling in and out, but people actually go there to go and see the airport. So it's quite a very busy airport. I think they have the figures.
Is it very easy for you to get infected because of the number of travelers, etc.?
I mean, I would not know. Okay. I mean, coronavirus is a novel virus. We still have very little answers in terms of how afraid we should be if somebody comes from a certain country and they come very close to us. So, you know, if you check the news this morning, Beijing, for instance, says that all returnees coming back into Beijing will have to either self-quarantine for 14 days or you go to a designated place where you be kept for 14 days, all in an effort to contain this virus. Occupy Ghana has also issued a statement, also because the first case was recorded in Nigeria, which is the first in Sub-Saharan Africa. It's raising a lot of questions and a lot of fears as well. So it means
Occupy Ghana is also alarmed?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In terms of our preparedness, exactly. And they are asking, and they are saying that we should have a plan B. So in the course of the review, we will share some of the details in that statement that they've issued. But this is, yep.
Right.
I will tell you about I'll tell you about Singapore. I still have something I haven't put out there about
Great
Singapore.
memories.
And it's sad that it's sad about the coronavirus is preventing a lot of people from traveling. Which is not cool at all. Okay. But good morning. It's a fresh week, fresh day. This is the third month of the year. And this is 2nd of March. Look at us, we're here. January, February, we've done January, February, and we're in the month of March. So we give God the glory. He's been absolutely good to us.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's 9 months to the election.
Yes, you're counting down to the elections. Okay, I'm counting God's goodness. It's all good. All right, okay, so let's do the newspapers now. Do the Daily Graphic. I've got the Daily Statesman. I see the Economic Times, the Publisher, the Independent, the Times, and the Finder. But traditionally, I'm just going to start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. So here we go on the front page of the paper. Today, December 7 remains polls day. EC confirms. I'm not sure if anybody is doubting that, but we will look at why they are re-emphasizing, echoing something that we already know. So the dates for this year's presidential and parliamentary elections remains December 7. The Electoral Commission has confirmed. The confirmation quells any speculation that the elections will be held on November 7. Really? Is it just the graphic that had this one, or what? Was it like a big deal? People were thinking we'll do this in November 7.
I'm surprised because it never tells anybody. I'm not sure I've heard
that's
it.
What this one did.
But
okay, let me read further. Let me just go down a bit. But November 7 could be the date for subsequent general elections, as the EC is yet to set in motion the process to have a current date change. Okay, all right, that's it for me. Let's look at the other headlines. Unipass takes off at entry points, but freight forwarders criticize move. Also, Kumasi prepares for independence celebration. You know, the president, is it a president, or this government has been rotating the celebration of the Independence Day. So this year's celebration will be held in Kumasi.
Wow. That's very instructive.
Last year we didn't do it in Accra, did we? No, we did it, what, was it in Tamale or something like that? Yeah. Church of Pentecost launches national sanitation campaign. That's a good one on page 65. We'll tell you a bit of that, but in the center spread is a feature. Fix Nima drain, it says. Let's not become procrastinating vultures if we don't have the center spread. Here we go. The Daily Graphic putting the spotlight on the Nima drains and asking it to be fixed, especially because the rains are here, Roland. Yeah. If you had a feel of it, was it on Friday, then you know that, you know, there are some wild days ahead in terms of the rains and the kind of effects that it could have on us.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. It's just 30 minutes of rain, I'm told.
Yeah. So about 50% of the 1,147 students of the Deontay International School use the route close to the drain. So all kind of activities and children using this place that needs urgent fixing. The back page of the of the paper. You know, sometimes the authorities would want to wait for the media to highlight, so the Daily Graphic has done the work. Now, go and fix it. Back page, Sharks Heart Split Point in Accra, Wafa, Whitewash, Ash Gold. Kind of really like this headline. More in the Daily Graphic newspaper, but I did promise I'll take us to page 65 on what the Church of Pentecost is doing. So here we go. It says the Church of Pentecost has started a massive national sanitation campaign to rid the country of filth. The campaign focuses on education to engender attitudinal change towards improved sanitation, a push for law enforcement and the provision of facilities to promote efficient waste management. The initiative is being executed on a multi-stakeholder strategy involving policymakers at national and the local levels, traditional rulers, and faith-based organizations to improve the sanitation situation in the country. So the initiative is dubbed Environmental Care Campaign and is a partnership with the Ministries of Sanitation, Water Resources, Environment, Science, Technology, and Initiative Metropolitan Municipal and District Assemblies, as well as the Environmental Service Providers Association. It goes on to tell you about the significance of collaboration, the attitudinal change, and the background. But big ups to the Church of Pentecost. That's what we need the faith-based organizations to be doing. If we all tackle it from all angles, we will be making a lot of progress. Let's bring you the Ghanaian Times. Front page of the Times: withdraw untested Unipass directive. That's GIF appealing to government. Isn't it, you know, a bit too late? Would anything really happen in terms of a U-turn with this deal? West African countries urged to establish power market. Gunmen run amok, shoot, kill assembly member. Son escapes with wounds, wife tortured. This happened Sunday morning. We brought you a lot of details from yesterday and today, even in our AM news. As at the time that story was being filed, no arrest had been made. We will do a follow-up of this today here on JoyNews for you. Also, adequate preparedness against COVID-19. Ghana needs 35 million Ghana cedis to combat disease, according to the World Health Organization. Policeman in trouble for allegedly leading robbery gang. Also another story. But here's one I want to share a bit. In the center spread of the paper, Ghana would need 35 million Ghana cedis for adequate preparedness against COVID-19. In an assessment report released on Friday, the WHO noted that in spite of a 2.5 million Ghana cedis allocation by government towards preparedness for any eventuality, the amount was insufficient. The organization identified funding gaps in areas of capacity building, surveillance, risk communication, laboratory equipment, and logistics in tackling a possible outbreak. It has urged government to allocate more funds to implement various preparedness activities planned. Quote, support from government has so far gone towards the provision of personal protective equipment, coordination activities, and health declaration forms. Adequate funding is required to implement remaining activities, unquote. And we know that the Ghana Health Service could not emphatically say this. That's why we appreciate the fact that the World Health Organization is saying it. And we are going to make sure, Roland, that we push and get some answers from policymakers, because that's when we know that we are actually really prepared. This thing is getting to a pandemic mode. I mean, some countries are tackling it. Is it Australia? As though it was already an emergency in their country. And we can't just sit here and be talking about PPEs, protective clothing for health officials, first attendants. We can't be talking about 2.5. We need a lot more.
I was just
World Health Organization says 35 million.
A friend over the weekend at a funeral attendant, and he had just returned from Asia within the week, and was saying that, look, there was no checks enough on me for looking if you have to benchmark it with where he was coming from, because he had to go through the Dubai airport. And you know how rigorous the checks are. You're coming from Asia. And he said, look, it looks like it's child's play in our airport. And even the saddest thing was that if you say somebody didn't have temperature, then we also needed to go beyond that aspect of just checking the temperature to say that if you know you're coming from a certain route, you may not exhibit signs.
Well, isn't that what the health declaration form is expected to do? I don't know the questions they're asking on that paper, but it's supposed to lead them to a certain point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because then, how do we track all those who have come through our airport then, just after declaring on the sheet that maybe I'm coming from maybe Malaysia, India, etc.
So the question to ask, but fortunately for us,
how do we track them if they are in
fortunately for us, you know, our colleague Becky is back from the UK, so she came through and she filled those forms. Question I want to ask is, do they read what you've written on that form before you get out of the airport, before you exit? Do you get my point? Otherwise, then we're totally relying on the telephone numbers and the address that you've stated, you know, there.
But even then, do they check on you maybe 3 days after you're in country, 1 week after you're in country, to get to know your status or how well you're doing?
Okay, so that's the whole point of the question I'm asking. I know, for instance, that where, you know, there's a certain alert if you're coming from China. Do you get what I mean?
From the Middle East.
But we know that there are cases that have been reported in other places. For instance, the one that happened in Nigeria, the person didn't fly from China. He flew from Italy. He had gone to Milan and had, you know, returned. So there's the spotlight still really on China. Is it when you've come from China that, you know, we are interested in what happens to you after? But we can always use Becky as a test case. Let's see, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks, so if she'll be contacted.
We have to keep her home for 2
weeks. I've hugged her anyway.
Is she already at work?
She is. But she didn't have that temperature, that 37 temperature.
Is she already at work? Who allowed it?
Okay, that's it. That's why sometimes authorities don't want to see everything to us, because we tend to panic unnecessarily. Let's go back to the newspapers. Roland, get over it. Let's do the Finder newspaper, front page of the Finder. Universal health coverage in 5 years. President Akufo-Addo sets ambitious targets. Importers directed to clear goods from Unipass. Free fire extinguishers for homes locked up at warehouse. Government updates Ghanaians on adequate preparedness towards the coronavirus disease as of 25th February. But now we know the WHO is raising very serious concerns, and that needs to be addressed. Enough of the assurances. Get down. Let's put some action on the ground.
When did you return from Singapore?
Oh, Roland, this was like, this is December 31st or something like that.
Okay, you passed the quarantine.
But it wasn't there. I mean, it was in Wuhan from November.
Can we quarantine? No, it's.
Oh, are you kidding me? Been here for like what, 2 months? All right, let's do the Daily Statesman newspaper front page. Parliament approves $993 million for Palugu multi-purpose dam project. 2.8 million Ghana cedis for coronavirus fight. It is not enough, says the WHO. We are moving away from export of raw cocoa. Akufo-Addo reaffirms commitment to value addition. Well, it is not enough, not part of the headline, by the way. I was just... I don't know when Kotoko wins one, then it's a ruthless Kotoko. Seriously, it is still Asokwa Deportivo. Let's do the Economy Times. Front page of the Economy Times. Ghana could lose collateral to Sino-Hydro and bauxite-backed loan. IMF warning there. It says the International Monetary Fund has warned that the government may not be able to repay a $2 billion bauxite backed loan to contracted with Chinese state company Sino-Hydro in 2018, which could lead to loss of collateral. The IMF concerns was captured in a new report released by the NRGI DABS Resource Backed Loans, Pitfalls and Potentials. We actually haven't even seen those projects that the Sino-Hydro is supposed to, was mainly infrastructure, Roland, was supposed to be roads, right?
Yeah, we've already accessed a chunk of some part of the money.
I'm saying that I haven't seen the fruits of the
starting in earnest.
Okay. The Independence.
I saw a track.
All right.
Weekend,
you saw a track. Yeah. Sino-Hydro. Okay. Where exactly?
I saw it on the Shy Hills Road.
Okay. All right. Ghana ends manual passport application March 1st, 2020. Resort to online. So if you're watching us, and this is something that we'll talk in detail about later on our show. If you're trying to get your passport renewed or you're trying to apply for a passport, you don't have to physically go there and fill a form. You don't have to go to any bank and buy the form. You have to do it online. Yeah. Okay, Roland, do the rest of the papers.
I thought you do your independence. Serious.
Oh, which one?
This one,
Yeah, I have. That's where I read the passport story from.
Fantastic. So we have the daily guide for me to escape insults.
Okay, polio virus detected in Koforidua according to the Ghana Health Service.
No, we have another virus. No.
Okay,
novel.
all right. No, this is not novel. This is.
I know. Polio.
This is because we haven't done something.
We should have been.
So the Ghana Health Service has detected a strain of poliovirus in Koforidua. The poliovirus was found recently in the polluted Nsukwan River, which flows from both New Jabeng North and South municipality. The virus was detected through routines in Nsukwa. Thank you, my director. It was detected through routine surveillance by a team of investigators from the Ghana Health Service. Was confirmed by the Nogochi Memorial Institute of Medical Research Center. Okay. All right. I guess I was trying to see how it is affecting the people of Koforidua, but I guess I have to read a lot.
All right.
Yeah, but there's also one last headline because I'm accused of not reading all the headlines. Will resist attempt to rig 2020 elections. That's Victor Smith giving that warning.
Daily Guide, let me just show you the front page. This is why we have to do myonline.com, and some of you has 1-2 other sites. So Daily Guide, front page, just see it for yourself. NDC flees from coronavirus. Okay,
Let's coming from what? News file on Saturday or what?
No, let me check. No. Then they they were exposed by Daily Guide. So one of it was great. Okay, so let's go to the Daily Dispatch. Daily Dispatch has NDC MP's fake news against Fidelity Bank. Retract and apologize or we sue Fidelity to Isaac Adongo. Daily Dispatch. Coronavirus outbreak is a world in a crisis mode. An urgent notice from Ghana Health Service on coronavirus disease. There's no petition against Alfred Obeng Bibiani MPP executives. The election is coming on. It's April. That's next month.
Charlie.
So Charlie, hot.
Yeah, it just occurred to me this morning that different 6 months.
Constituencies. Now let's go to the Go Street business. It's the last one. Dormant businesses given 7 months grace period to re-register to avoid being removed from companies registered. So for all those of you who are owning the company, owning the companies, you own the company. I'm not saying owning the companies. Make sure that you go regularize, including many of us as well. If our companies have been dormant for some months. Okay, so front page. Amavi, what do you have?
Oh, we'll do myjoyonline.com. But I have a very good friend, a very great gentleman who is standing for the Ebrim constituency. As you talk about April, which is just around the corner, I'm a bit nervous for him. But Ebrim, yeah, this is Ebrim constituency. He's special assistant to Dr. Nanato Arthur. And that's Frank Miracle. You know,
Frank Miracle.
Yes, Frank is going for a Birmingham constituency.
We wish you all the best.
Yes, we wish you the very best.
You're a friend of the show.
Yes, absolutely.
Is it New Ebrim?
No, it's not New Ebrim. It's Ebrim.
Constituency.
Yeah, Ebrim constituency.
Because it's not a Northern constituency.
So
you're going to face off with the incumbent.
It's incumbent running. I don't think so.
Right.
But I think there's real competition there.
So you said Frank Ejebwati.
No, I said Frank Miracle.
Frank Miracle, a friend of the show. Let's go to myjoyonline.com. Salif Combat is now running for anything. Salif Combat.
Run on myjoyonline.com. Integrated recycling compost plant in Ashanti region to sustainably manage over 1,000. Is that 1K? Tons of waste daily. I know that the select committee went around an inspection. Yeah. They were pretty impressed with what they had seen. I hope that we make use of it, though.
We will.
The
off-take agreements also need to be taken because it's not easy to recoup your investment by just collecting.
Yeah, but when you get into a piece of business, you have to make it work. From Accra to Dubai, the Emirate business class experience. This, I suspect, is coming from Darrell Kwao because he's been exploring Emirates.
So he slept in the business class.
Which one is your business? Top up.
You use business class?
Nope.
Economy.
My level hasn't gotten there yet.
But Emirates be good flight, so if you do economics, that'd be nice.
Just lobby. You see, the trick is lobby to get the front seat. You have room, and it's almost like you're in business class. Okay, that's not true. The children serving witches in pictures. We have this documentary showing fully later this evening, but we'll have a conversation on that as well. Produced by Justice Bay, the 73-year-old businessman crowned New Wa Yerina. Well, congratulations to the New Wa Yerina.
I love how you pronounce it. You have a friend of the show who is contesting some seats because the way you
we don't want to be mere producers, exporters of cocoa beans anymore. That's a call from our president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Imani queries shambolic and fraudulent tender for biometric systems. Now, if you just go with headlines, I am pleading with you on this particular story for you to go and click it and read it, especially if you are one of those political commentators, before you jump and be insulting. You have to really read the details of that. Some things that we have to pay attention to. WhatsApp security. Is this hidden flaw a new reason to quit? Well, it talks about group chats and numbers appearing on a certain Google search. This is also one of the things that you should read if you're concerned about security. Sogakopa South Assembly member shot dead at his residence. Absolutely. We know his wife is also in a critical condition because she was stabbed as well. And then, a son of his as well. Unbelievable. Some of the things that you actually don't expect happens in Ghana. Duncan Williams bans mobile phone use in his office.
And when you read the story, it says that of the presidency, all phones making entry into the office of the president had been banned because somebody recorded the president.
Oh, but that's okay. Well, is it people around the president? Because I know that when you go to the presidency, you don't carry your phones, and that has been something that's been there for a very long time. You don't take at a point, you leave all your gadgets.
Yeah,
so this is a bit,
it could be somebody who is only close to. Anyway, so Mavi, we have sports.
Yes, we have sport. My Asoka Deportivo is, what's the name of that club that's called the Liverpool? Watford. That's my Asoka Deportivo. Stay with us, we've got details.
United, what was the score?
Massa, it was a draw. Which one is your own? Stay with us, we've got details.